Hello again. I was genuinely taken aback at the lack of response to my offer to debate the idea that immigration and multiculturalism are things to welcome and be glad about in modern Britain. Some people said that immigration was needed because of our ageing population, but nobody at all tackled the question of multiculturalism and why that is to be preferred to integration and assimilation. 50 or 60 years ago, the expectation was that when immigrants arrived in Britain or America, they would fit into the ways of the country and become British or American. They might keep quaint customs from their homelands, but they would adopt the values, language, and culture of their new country and teach them to their children. In America, this was known as a melting pot, that all individuals would share a common culture. The slogan of the United States, E pluribus unum, out of many one, reflects this. Italians, Irish and Germans all came to the country, and then lo and behold, then their children turned into Americans. The same thing happened in Britain, and it was understood that wherever people came from, if they wanted to live here, then the onus was on them to fit in and adapt to our way of life. This was very sensible, for it maintained the unity of society. Britain was a liberal democracy with Christian values, and those who wanted to come here had to take it for granted that these were the values they would need to live by. In 1960s America, with the Vietnam War and so on, the country began to doubt that their way was the only way, or even the best way. Why should those coming to live in the United States adopt American values? Perhaps their own cultures and religions, political systems were as good as or even better than those in America. From this uncertainty arose a new concept. Rather than the melting pot, people began talking of the salad bowl theory, where incoming people maintain their own cultures and values, if necessary, ignoring those of the host country. In this way, the theory of multiculturalism was born, and like some hideous virus, it crossed the Atlantic and became adopted by Britain. Instead of integrating, immigrants should be encouraged to keep their own culture and language, follow their own religions and way of life, dress as they had in Pakistan, rather than start dressing like British people, and follow their own customs. This led inexorably to the fragmentation of British society and the growth of separate communities. We have streets where everybody dresses as though they were in Bangladesh, and the women never bother to learn English. If the values of your home country entail stabbing up people who annoy you or chopping their heads off, well then you can do that in this country as well. If a film about the Prophet Muhammad would be forbidden in Pakistan, then it should be forbidden in Britain too. This is what multiculturalism has led to. It is odd that nobody yesterday seemed inclined to defend this business, preferring to talk instead of moral imperatives and ageing populations. It is the scourge of multiculturalism which has caused much of the problems we are now experiencing. If immigrants and their families had been expected to conform to British culture and British standards, then we would not have seen so many of the problems we are now seeing in this country.